you divorce or not, when you have that child, you're still married. How do you want to co-parent with somebody that you hate at that time?
Love, the feeling, the kiss is not enough. Yes. The chemistry phase will always pass.
Yes.
So maybe while you're in relationship, just try to control the emotion.
Don't come to the church when you have your problem. Then why should I go?
If you are not two giving people, that marriage is not going to last.
What?
Hi, my name is Juliana and I would like to welcome you to the Ladies Platform Podcast. Wow, thank you so much. If you are a returning subscriber, I would like to say thank you. If you are new, I would like to say please press the subscribe button. You can be sure that your time here will not be wasted because you're going to learn, you're going to have fun, and you're going to be enlightened. Okay, so today is a very, very special edition because I have very important people. I'm sandwiched between this my very good friend here, Dr. Yinka, and also Sister Yema. And also here is
BC.
All right. Yeah, you know BC, right? She's an old timer, so she's always here. Okay, so beautiful children of God who are doing very great in their own right. And today we want to talk about a very important topic. And this topic is kind of, like we're just being practical. We're no holds barred. We see things as they are and we talk about them because we need to talk about them. We love to have meaningful conversations on the Ladies Platform Podcast. If nobody's talking about them, we are going to talk about them because we need to raise the awareness, do better, learn, because some things we do, we don't know, and that's why we're doing. If we knew better, we'll do better. So that's the reason why we're here today. So today we want to talk about God's beautiful love stories, in the sense that, does God write love stories? Is it possible that God writes love stories? Because we read in the Bible that God instituted marriage. And we've seen a trend of people getting married. At the end of the day, they end in divorces, they are separated, and different things happen. So why is this happening? Even in the body of Christ, we see it everywhere. We're not judging, we just want to know, does God write beautiful love stories? What is happening if God writes beautiful love stories? So I'm going to start with you, Sister Yema. Does God write beautiful love stories?
Oh, definitely yes. God, in the beginning, He created the earth, and He sees that there's no one there to tend to it, and He made man. And at the end of the day, He sees that this man was lonely, and He says, I'll make you a soulmate. So that's a love story right there, to say in everything and in anything that you do, you need somebody, you need love, which started from Adam and Eve. So I would say God, because it is so, and He also so loved the world that He gave His only begotten Son to be with us, to care about us. So at the end of the day, God is love. So that just says it all, that He's a love story just by Himself, creating all these things and also putting human to come together and not just being there, but to be a soulmate and love on one another.
Okay, so God writes beautiful love stories. So yes. Yinka, do you think God writes?
Yes, God does write beautiful love story. Like she said, God is all about love. Love is all about God, and everything about God revolves around His love. So, both in terms of human relating to each other, husband and wife, life is all about love. So, it does.
What's your take, BC, on God's love stories?
Should I be the outlier here? Yeah, but yeah, definitely God writes beautiful love stories. If you look at the book of Ruth, I think that's
that love story. Yeah, oh my God, I love that love story.
That's like romance novel, next level kind of love story.
Yes.
So yes, and everything in the Bible is in there for a purpose.
Yeah.
From Genesis, it started a love story, like Sister Yema said, and then over time, look at Isaac and Rebecca. That's another. Oh my gosh! Like Rebecca saw him from afar. Like, who is this guy with broad chest and tall, dark, and handsome? Okay, So yes, definitely, I would say God writes beautiful love stories.
Okay.
A story I always think of in the Bible was the woman at the well and Jesus.
Yeah.
And when she was trying to say, okay, who is this guy?
Checking
checking out your soul.
You're checking out my body, I'm checking out your soul.
Now find somebody for you.
Oh my God, so God definitely does write beautiful love stories. So if God writes beautiful love stories, why then do we have, a high rate of divorce, especially in, this day and time? I know that growing up at that time, our parents, it was less. People had issues, but they were sticking together, for whatever reason. We're not even going to go too much into that.
Yeah.
But why do we have a higher rate of divorce now, if God?
I think to me, it's one word, is impatience. Impatience, and maybe another one, lack of communication. But impatience, you get into the relationship, you fall in love, and then you have the wedding, which is one day, and the marriage, which is a lifetime.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, you become impatient with each other. Everything it's works in patience, because we all come from even when you have your sister or brother, you come from the same mother and father, you don't understand him or her that much.
You live together all your life and you guys still fight and
you still fight. So let alone you come into a family, a whole family, and marriage is not just the husband and wife.
Yeah.
It includes the family as well. So that's why nowadays, and people don't take time to study the Bible. If I knew what I know now compared to back then, maybe I'll still be in my marriage, because as you grow up also, you tend to have that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, especially wisdom, But when you're out there in the streets and you're just doing the things, and you also end up running out of love. You say, I'm out of love, I don't love him anymore, I don't love her anymore. Why don't you love her anymore? You used to love her. So, to cut long story short, I think it's impatience and lack of communication.
Oh, okay. So impatience in the sense that you are not patient with the person's, character or, his inability to do things that you expect the person to do.
Exactly, in everything. And most importantly, financially. That's the main cause of divorce today. Because you sometimes people or the couple paints a picture to say, oh, don't worry, I got this. When the time comes to pay the rent or little things, in this part of the world is where I came in, and I know about 50-50. When our parents were coming,
there was nothing.
There was 50-50.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, that's an issue to say. I'm your helpmate, so why should I be taking the full brunt when you're not doing your own part? So sometimes people just be like, well, you know what, I'd rather be single than.
So are you saying that, like, you feel like, do we think like finances is a huge part of divorce? Like, you feel like, from your experience, you feel like finances is a big part of divorce. If the finance was taken out, they might not be, they wouldn't have been divorced in some cases.
In some cases, yes, I think so, because money is a good thing.
That's right, all things.
By the end of the day, the Bible says it all. It says money is the root of all evil, but also
the love of money.
The love of money
is the
root
of all evil. Yes.
Yes. So you have to know how to spend it, or how to take care of that aspect in order to take care of your family. So, but sometimes I don't want to say, oh, it's both parties. Both parties. It takes two. My main word, it takes two to tango. And you have to have that deeper understanding. Communication. If you know that you're getting stranded in an area, let me know. If I'm able to help, I will. But sometimes men especially just shut down. And even when you try to say, what's going on, how can I help, they're like, don't worry, I got it, let's talk.
But they don't got it.
And they don't get it. Let's talk and let's see how we can work this out. But ego Ego.
Yeah.
So, what do you think about it? You feel like communication? She said she talks about communication, and from what you see, I know it's not like your own personal experience, but just from what you see and what you've heard, do you think is more of communication and lack of patience, like she said?
Yeah, I think both of those things, and I also like to add selfishness. Like if you are not too giving people, that marriage is not gonna last, because you always, in any relationship, if everyone is taking, whether it's just regular friendship, it won't last. After a while, be like, this person is always calling me when they need me, but they don't call me when they don't check up on me. That's just on a normal level. Imagine being in a marriage like that. Like
the person is thinking more
more
about themselves.
So I think the impatience, like Sister Yema said, in all things, it's not just finance, it's not just everything.
Yeah.
It's a process. Two different people coming together, two different backgrounds, upbringings, maybe two different ideas,
ideology,
temperaments, cultures.
Yeah.
You will have to be patient with each other. You also have to communicate. So Sister Emma hit the nail on the head. And then you also have to be ready to go in as a giver and stay that way. It will be hard if you are not married to a taker. Exactly. So you see where divorce comes in. So because you give up to a point, there's nothing to give again. When there's no replenishment, you're not getting anything to fill you up. You're just it's like you empty yourself and there's nothing left. And it's not like you begin to hate the person, but there's nothing left if the other person is not reciprocating. So and then it's worse when they are both takers. Then that thing would finish. Like she said, the love ends. It's not like the love has finished, but nobody wants to do the work to continue for that love to grow. So yeah.
So from what you're saying, that means that some of the divorces we see today, if both parties, or should I say one party? Both parties are willing to do the work.
Yes, both. It has to be both.
It could still be serving.
Yes, it could still be serving.
Becomes one.
Yes.
So Dr. Inka, what's your take on this whole?
Well, I think it used to be a lot to unpack now. When you talk to older folks, maybe some of our parents, your mom, you could see that they went through a lot in their marriage. So is it that people are more self-aware now, or people are more conscious of what they want and what they don't want?
Yeah.
And then she did mention that the two of you are takers, so some things could it be like a selection error, maybe.
Selection error.
So some errors are like you made a mistake at your selection.
To correct.
So to correct it now becomes very difficult, and then maybe I'm also realizing that love, the feeling, the giz is not enough. The chemistry phase will always pass. So maybe while you're in relationship, just try to control that eros or control that emotion and work more on your feel, so that you guys are friends and then you can see more clearly. But sometimes the emotions is just crazy and people just get emotional. They are not seeing, even when they are not seeing properly. And they make that mistake of selection. Because if somebody is a taker, I'm sure you know right from relationship days. Red flags.
But the thing is, you will think that person will change. And
another problem.
Yes. You'll be like, well, it will change. I'll try. But you can't change anybody. You can't change anybody. So once you see that red flag, just either if you're gonna go into it and say I'm managing like that, then that's on you. But if you see the red flag, it's time to
jump and pass like Nigerians. Nigerians. You jump inside, jump and pass. Oh my God. So this brings me to a question that I ask, or I see, and I'm like, are we not seeing this trend of, do we think that people spend more time on planning the day, which is the wedding, than the marriage itself? Could this be a contributing factor to what we see right now, the rate of divorces? Is it like people are paying more attention to the day, which is just one day, or for some people even 1 week, even like for celebrities, maybe they could do 1 week, whatever. Are they paying more attention to that 1 week, 1 day, few hours than the lifetime of being together, which is marriage?
I would say 100% yes. They're paying more to that. First of all, they're looking forward, doing their best to get that proposal. And that
the proposal these days crazy.
is the
That's
key.
another show.
Even the
Yes.
proposal parties.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
What we do the pedals and all that. And back in your mind, you know that this is not the person for me, but because you just want to show off, and then you end up start planning and you do a whole week of celebration when that's not the key. The key is the marriage. Are you able to go
The long
yeah,
haul.
yes. Are you able to go sit down with it? Because it's a contract. Once you sign it, it's forever. But people are already saying, well, if they divorce, you're thinking about divorce before you even get married.
That's another.
That's the wrong idea you getting yourself
Yeah,
into.
and it's not as easy as it looks.
As
right?
it
the
looks.
divorce is
It's easy to get married than getting divorced.
Yeah.
And divorce bring everybody wrong side out of them. You know, it's very emotional. I've been there, done that. So I'm talking out of experience. It's emotional. It affects all the parties involved. And if you have kids, it makes it worse.
Yeah.
Because you have to let them know that this is not you. It's just mommy and daddy not getting along. And it's just sad that people tend to put more in the wedding than the marriage. And that's what happening today in today's society. And that's where the church comes in. You know, if I'm doing it all over again, I mean, I'm not giving up in marriage.
yeah. Because God loves, He writes beautiful love stories, so we're not giving up.
Yeah, I'm not giving up.
Yeah.
Counseling, because that's why I said if I go back in time, there's so many things I would do that differently, you know.
So like the counseling?
Like the counseling, I don't remember maybe doing it because at that time, I'm happy I find myself in this commission.
In the church, no.
Yes, in the church, you know. So counseling is where you get to know what needs to be done and do it right. And if you know it's not right, there is no stupid question. Ask the question. Ask the question. And if you know this is not gonna, even when you're already engaged, you can broke an engagement rather than broken a marriage.
A broken engagement is better than a broken marriage.
It's easier. So
okay. So I'm gonna ask them this before I ask you. So how do you think the church or people in general perceive people who are divorced or who are separated? What's your take on how they're perceived? I'm still gonna ask her that. I know that you are, but I'm gonna ask what or how do you perceive people who?
I think prior to now, people divorce was something that was frowned on. Like you hear parents say, "Oh, you can't have all your 4 children without their father. A woman needs the covering of a man." You know, but I think with social media and my story, my own, and all those kind of things that we have going on now, I think people are more bold. And people are getting to the point that divorce is not the end of my story. I can still divorce and remarry if I choose to, and the fact that I'm divorced does not mean that I won't have good kids. So I think that's kind of like liberated people a bit, and I think the society is more forgiving.
It's more forgiving. But there's still a lot of enlightenment to do, because I know that some people look at divorces are like, oh, you know, they must be a failure, or so they failed or something like that. So what's your take on that?
Well, I think there's still a stigma around divorce. It may be not as strong as it used to be in the past. You know, a lot of people feel, even if society doesn't condemn them, I think a lot of divorcees will feel like, I failed at this, I failed at my marriage, you know. But like Dr. Yinka said, there's also more forgiveness. I think there's more understanding that some marriages or some relationships are toxic, so you can't expect people to stay in there. Like what you're talking about, our parents, our mothers, you must stay there even if you're a dying generation. that one has gone. No, but there's no you must stay there. Yes, you know. So I think there's more forgiveness. Yes, nobody wants to be a divorcee, but if it happens, well, what do you do? In the past, you couldn't even mention the word. Before you finish saying before you get to it's like the church will be like, no, no, no. But now the church, I think, has also come to accept the fact that not all relationships are meant to, to remain forever.
Okay, so back to your sister Yema. From your own experience, how do you feel like the church perceived you, or people that you knew, your friends, your community, like, your own circle of influence? How was it, going through that experience?
First of all, the church should be the first place that you run to for that covering, for that counseling. But for me, I think there's still that stigma that you're afraid to let people know, or let the church know that you're going through situation, because if you know what it's going to lead to when you start seeing your marriage crumbling, and you're calling out for help, and you're not getting the help that you need from the church. And at the end of the day, they kind of sell your story out there.
And you be on the altar and the pastor
sometimes the way it is preached, you'll be like,
okay,
that sounds like me.
And people are telling you, don't come to the church when you have your problem. Then why should I go? If I don't come to the church,
question.
Where should I go? So it makes people become afraid. It makes people dying in marriage with all this violence because you want to cover up. And if you as a person have to make yourself happy, and by making yourself happy is to let people know that this is what I'm going through. I need help. We have to say we need help. And who do we say it to? Since we're children of God, is the church. So to me, I think it's becoming better. I think they're accepting, but also they're treading cautiously.
Yes.
Because once you become a divorcee, no matter what, the stigma is there. They'll tell you, well, these are certain things that you can do. You can get married in the church if you want to remarry. So it's getting better.
It's getting better, because I know some churches marry people.
It's getting better, but the stigma is still there.
So this stigma, is it from, so stigma definitely from people in the church. Is it more from people in the church, or from friends you've known, maybe probably together with your ex, or things like, where's the stigma more from?
It's both. It's you're afraid to tell your story to maybe your friends, or if you tell it to your friends, they'll be like, don't take it to the church, because it's going to spread out. And you take it to the church, they call all the departmental counseling on you, which you don't want it to happen.
Yeah.
And so for me, it comes on both sides. So that's why people tread cautiously in those areas. To say, okay, you start overthinking. This is what I want to take to the church. This is what I don't want to, and it should not be that way. Christ said, come unto me.
Yeah. All ye that labor and heavy laden.
And he has come for the sinners and not for the righteous.
And the brokenhearted as well. Broken hearts.
And that woman that was a prostitute, they brought him to Jesus, and he said, if you have not sinned, cast the first stone.
Yeah.
And everybody walked away, and he looked up and said, where is everybody? He said, go and sin no more.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, we should have that empathy. We should hear both sides.
Not be quick to judge.
Not be quick to judge. Don't go be spreading things that people will be looking at you and be like, why are they looking at me? If you can reconcile, that's an idea I welcome. If both parties are ready.
Do you feel like reconciliation is possible, especially even after a divorce or before the divorce?
I think it's possible, because that time, maybe if you get in the room to separate and go and rethink, or if even you still live in the same home, and you rethink, and it's possible. It's possible to work on yourself. It's possible. That's why we have counseling, we have therapy. So if both of you, my saying always come back, it takes two to tango. So if the two of you are ready to walk your differences, especially when you have kids, because having kids always, it causes that commotion, complicates things.
Mm-hmm.
So if both parties want to reconcile, it is possible. You can do it.
Yeah, so do you feel like it's harder on the kids or the man or the woman? Who is the harder on the divorce?
Oh, definitely the kids, especially at a young age, because they don't understand why is mommy not here, or why is daddy not here, you know, and at that time it's emotional. Oh, you see all the emotions coming out, you know, the you don't want to see the husband, you don't want to see the wife, like. There was a time I don't want to talk to my ex. I deleted everything because I was like, so emotionally hyper and like, oh, this should not happen, and my kids asking me the question. And in this age, yes, our parents took all the nonsense they had to take because they want the kids to be in that home. So, but we of nowadays, I don't want my children to live in a toxic environment where they're like asking you the question, why are you crying? Or why did this happen to you? Or why are you not talking to daddy, or daddy not talking to you? Like deep stuff, you know, that I don't want to say it all out here happens, and you have to do things for the best interest of the child. You have to protect your children. And no matter what, once you have a child, you're still married to that person because you still have to communicate.
Oh wow, that's
You know,
wow.
You still have to communicate, because in this world that we find ourselves, when you go through divorce, it's joint custody. In the state of New Jersey, it's joint custody. Whether you don't want to see that man, so long as that person is capable. It's joint custody, and you have to co-parent.
Yeah.
So in everything they'll tell you, you have to do it for the best interest of the child. So how do you want to co-parent with somebody that you hate at that time? But the saying goes, time heals the wound. So as the time goes, like me and my ex now, we're talking, we kind of quote unquote friends, joke with each other. And my daughter is like, she have that Nigerian personality. I'm sorry to say
Your
she's
daughter is
feisty.
Nigerian, right? Your ex was Nigerian.
She's feisty, she's the mediator, she's like the go-getter. So she makes it easy, you know? So at the end of the day, you divorce or not, when you have that child, you're still married.
So you would say, if you have your way, if you can work things out, you would advise, once it's not life-threatening, to work it out.
To work it out, yeah. Once it's not life-threatening, once it's not those kind of domestic abuse that again, life-threatening, always try to work it out. Always try to reconcile, especially when kids are involved. You know, because you don't want to live in a toxic environment. That's something you got to rule out. But if it's something you can work out, it takes two. You can sit down with your husband, with your wife, and say, let's talk things out. Go ahead, because it's going to benefit everybody.
Yeah. I recently met a guy that was separated or kind of divorced on the plane, and he said, you know what, we kept that house, so we alternate every week. I'd come in 1 week and stay because they didn't want to destabilize the children.
Oh, so they still lived in
So the children still lived in the house, that they were the ones that messed up, they were the ones that didn't get along with each other, so they should be the ones alternating.
So one parent will be there at a time.
And you want me to go.
And then the one will go, then the other parents will come.
It's-
That's the price.
Yeah.
They both agreed that they were going to pay,
Okay.
but that it won't change the setting for the children. And it's
Some people still live in the same house. Like if they have the upstairs and downstairs.
How is that possible to be divorced and be living in the same house?
Some people does it. I don't think I can do it. But some people does it. They live in the same house, they say, because of the children.
yeah.
You know.
So that means they are completely out of love. Like, they don't
Yeah,
feel
they don't feel anything.
Okay.
I can do that.
Yeah.
So what's your final take on this, and what would you like to?
From everything that has been said and encouraged by Sister Yema's story, I would say if you're in the process of divorce, maybe have a rethink, see if you can work it out. That's, try. You never can tell. Pray, seek counseling, do all that you need to do. And if you're already divorced, then give yourself grace. Forgive yourself, forgive your partner, and try to move on. I say try, I say move on, but I know it's not always easy. Easier said than done, but try to move on. So that's what I would say. And on both counts, give yourself grace. Don't be so hard on yourself. Forgive yourself and see how you can make things better or make things right. So that's what I would say.
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Inka.
Give yourself grace and, like she said, be patient. If you're having a difficult marriage and if you're out, forgive yourself and it could still be worked on. So just relax your mind and see where it goes.
Okay, so Sister Yema.
Yeah, as doctor said, it can still be worked on because there is restoration time. We always have testimony where people are separated or divorced for 10, 15, 20 years and they come back.
Yeah.
So sometimes there is that hope. Hope is not lost. Hope is not lost. So always try to forgive yourself first. Then you forgive your ex or
Is forgiving your ex, is it a thing? Is it possible to forgive your ex?
if you can, because God said forgive 70 times 7.
Yeah.
So, but you have to reach to that stage.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Yeah.
It's a process because it took me a long time. It took me a long time to forgive. And at the end of the day, I end up calling him and say, whatever I've done to you, I'm sorry.
There you go.
And then I
Release,
free myself.
Yeah.
And that was it. But you don't have to forgive instant, but you can. It's doable.
It's doable.
So forgive.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we still believe that God writes beautiful love stories.
Yeah.
And we still believe that you can be divorced and at the end of the day still have a beautiful love story.
Yes.
Eventually, yes. If that's what you want, God would, He would fulfill the desires of your heart. And so I was going to say this, that please forgive yourself, like they said. I'm just going to re-echo that. And also know that your mistakes do not define you, they refine you.
Yeah.
They make you a better person. If you feel like, oh my God, it was the wrong selection. I shouldn't have picked.
That's a good one.
I shouldn't have picked this person in the first place. I mean, if you knew better, you would do better. You didn't know better. You can't go back in time.
Yeah.
But you can actually shape your future by, first of all, at the present moment, you forgive yourself, forgive the person, free yourself, move on. Move on, and God still writes beautiful love stories.
Yeah.
So I hope you've enjoyed this episode. If you have any questions, you have any contributions, please put them in the comment section. Thank you for watching and see you on the next episode of the
Ladies Platform Podcast. Bye.